Okay, today we are chatting a bit about coffee subscriptions. I think this is just a very interesting topic to discuss because Bill here, who is a wonderful roaster, he is actually starting his own coffee subscription. So I just kind of want to chat about, coffee subscriptions as a consumer and then coffee subscriptions as a roaster and business owner. Like those are the two kind of different perspectives I would like to chat about today.
All right, hello, I am Bill. I run Hydrangea Coffee Roaster. I think it's moderately well known in the light roast community now. It's a personal passion project that I do for fun. And so, yeah, and trying to start a pilot sub-program.
Yeah, so he's been in business for about a year, and many of you who watch my videos and who've been on the internet, and at least in these coffee forums, you have tried his coffee because they're fantastic and also beautiful artwork, of course. So, we ought to always plug the coffees because the coffees are great. So I want to start off by chatting a little bit about coffee subscriptions. Like why do we even have coffee subscriptions? What is the advantage for the consumer and what is the advantage for, say, the roaster? So I'll start off with a bit about coffee subscriptions as a consumer. I think they kind of come in two forms here, where you can subscribe to, say, a blend of coffee, a yearly coffee that maybe you enjoy all the time. So you have consistency as a consumer, and maybe you get a discount of it. It's really cool. You can also adjust like the amount of coffee, for how frequent you get said coffee. So one is definitely consistency of enjoying the flavors whatever you want to enjoy and the way you brew and whatnot. And then the second, which I think is now kind of re-emerging post-COVID, and it's coming up, is more of curated coffee by a roaster. Mystery boxes, things that at least coffee enthusiasts really enjoy, right? It's like, what are these cool coffees? It might be fun to sub to it because you don't know what those coffees are. And I think that's like kind of what Bill's starting. But that's kind of, I think, the consumer perspective is being able to get consistent coffee, maybe at a discount, or get a fun coffee at a consistent timing. So I guess we could chat a little bit about coffee sub in general for the roaster. Why would you even offer a sub?
Sub is nice because sub brings in a nice steady cash flow. It helps with inventory. It helps move coffee bags quickly so that we can have the next seasonal crop fresh. We don't have to be constantly waiting to sell this last batch of old stock. It helps to keep the coffee fresh, and then a rotating sub means that we're doing the green buying for you. We're doing the choosing for you, so you don't have to think too hard. You consistently get some delicious coffee. So that's great for consumer and it's great for roaster.
It's been about a year since you started your business. How come you're launching Coffee Sub now? Like what is the thought process there? What's kind of been the challenges of creating a coffee subscription?
There are two types of coffee subs. There are the, as you said, the regular sub where it's about consistent, you get the same coffee every single month. And then there's the mystery style coffee where you get that roaster kind of picks and curates a box for you. I really want to do the second style, but the second style, a hard requirement is to have a connection with all the farmers, and I don't feel like I had enough green knowledge when I first started Hydrangea to be able to curate a list for a year or two or three. So this is a small pilot program. We're going to start off with one bag and eventually moving on, hopefully, to two very, very interesting coffee a year. So that's the rationale behind it. Now that I feel more confident about delivering more consistency, delivering more really, really interesting coffee out there. So for example, the first coffee that we're doing is a SL34, a Scotch Slab varietal, usually found in Kenya. And instead of planting in Kenya, Finca Potosi has moved it to Colombia and we planted there. And then it's a lot mellower than your normal Colombian, your normal Kenyan coffee. It's a little bit smoother, less, the acidity is a little bit more round, I would say. And it's a very, very interesting and delicious coffee that is not usually like your typical geisha or sidra. That on the really floral side, it's an incredibly juicy coffee, and I figured that's super interesting to share. And honestly, everyone is finding the next geisha, whether it's sidra, whether it's Sudan Rume, whether it's Yujinois. There are a lot of that kind of coffee. So we're always trying to find the next big thing that will taste delicious. And that's the whole purpose behind kind of this mission of Discovery Sub.
Yeah, and it's really interesting to hear that because a lot of roasters and even subscription services have a specific vision of what they're trying to execute here and present to customers, especially those of you on subscription, right? It's like if you subscribe, you probably like the roaster enough, you like their coffee enough, and you're basically starting a relationship with them. And it's just what do they want to present to you as the customer? Some of them, it's like value. It's coffee is a certain way, or in this case, it's like very unique coffees, education, stuff like that. It's like that is a coffee that I didn't even know existed, right? It's like SL34 from Colombia. It's like what? Where does that come from, right? And it's very interesting to be able to even think that someone would offer those types of coffees on subscription, right? But that is what Bill's vision is, and it's cool to see that you as a roaster can craft those different types of experiences for your customers and for those of you who are on sub, right? It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then in future iterations, I'm trying to bring really, really weird coffee. And Brian has had a catamount from Yunnan that was very, very bizarre and very interesting. And yeah, stuff that people has never heard of, or stuff that people usually never get the chance of trying because either A, the farm is not well known, or B, this varietal or this coffee has been overlooked and overshadowed by other coffee.
So like what's the benefit of, say, having all these subscribers then for coffee, right? It's like does that let you buy more coffee, pick the ones you want, make sure you can get enough of it?
Yeah, it helps with green buying in the sense that if I have subscription, then I can steadily sell a good portion of this coffee. If I put up a bizarre coffee on the website, it does pose a challenge that people want to stay with the comfortable, more traditional, well-known stuff. And then generally it takes a lot more activation energy to buy these coffee, and I found them difficult to sell on Hydrangea, some of them. So this is also the purpose of starting this up to sell some really delicious coffee.
For example, Bill had a wonderful Sudan Rumé coffee on his website, and it's just like you would expect that to sell out, but most people are trending towards stuff like the Diego Bermudez coffees, and it's just like, wow, you have this amazing other coffee right here on the website, but people are ignoring it because there are new fantastic coffees, but it's just like. It's a way for Bill to be able to also present those coffees to customers, right? And it's like you don't get a freedom of choice here, but I think that's what's fun, right? It's like these are all great coffees. Most of these roasters are trying out here, right? Hopefully, and they're presenting, hopefully, and they're trying to present their vision of coffee, and that's communicated through flavors, right? It's like what are you getting there? And I just think that it's quite interesting because it's like you are subbing to what your vision is, and I think can be pretty fun. And it might be worthwhile for you guys to explore that. So while we're on the topic of subs, what are your thoughts on higher end subscriptions, like premium subscriptions, competition subs? We find that some of the higher end subscriptions, like they need to be priced at the premium end because they're offering premium coffees. You have more premium subs like Standouts, specific competition sub. We had things like Onyx Echelon, those types of programs. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
It's nice because it motivates more farmers to produce, to focus on quality. So the reason why, for example, Pepe Hion's coffee is expensive is not because his varietal, he plants typical varietal, but he's very meticulous with his processing and how he plants the coffee. I think it puts more emphasis on value in the industry, and it tells the farmers that, hey, there is this market for people that are willing to be more meticulous, be more careful at picking the cherries, make sure the cherry is fully ripe, make sure there's no defects or bug bites, or minimize that. I think Brian can see that from Pepe Hion's coffee or La Palma's coffee, where it's like 99% perfect, whereas some of the other coffee may be like 95, 94, a little bit lower. This is speaking from experience. Yeah, so we can motivate other farmers to also do something similar. I think that's really good for everyone. Just the movement towards higher quality stuff.
Yeah, and especially if there are consumers who are consistently, on these subscriptions buying these coffees, right? Like if you could, it'd be really cool if you could even sub down to like producers, right? Like, hey,
Right.
I just want like Bermudez all day every month, right?
Right.
But that's kind of at least what interests me. Like, I look at what exists right now, right? And like, you can buy fantastic coffees now. Like I would say that standard of quality of coffee right now is amazing across the board. It's just like, what could be more interesting to you could be, scratch that itch, I guess, of wanting to try some of these coffees, is these mystery subs, is these coffee subs, the more premium subscriptions out there. They cost more money because they are getting more higher quality coffees. And that's just what it takes is, it's not cheap to do this.
Right.
So when's your sub going live? Or can we go and buy your sub?
The sub is should be somewhere over here.
Oh yeah, okay, I'll put it in the video. I always want to put the good stuff out there. Many of you guys tried a lot of Bill's coffees already. Remember we did the Pepe Hihan coffee. A lot of you guys got that. I cannot believe it sold out. That was pretty fast.
That was pretty fast. It's coming back soon.
Yeah, but he's starting a subscription now, and it is going to be exciting. It's a one bag sub. I'm going to be on the sub. Do you have limited spots on that, or how much coffee can you actually do?
I think there's like 70, so it's more or less reasonable. Still plenty of spots to fill up. And it's a pilot program. It will presumably get bigger as it goes on. And yeah, hopefully by the end of the month, by the end of the year or beginning next year, I can start doing split of 2 bags. And that would be more interesting, just 2 bags of really delicious coffee, 4 ounces each.
I just always want to support people who support the channel, right? Bill's been a big supporter doing the coffee collaborations, and we just kind of want to chat about coffee subscriptions because, when I hear that there's going to be a really amazing high-end coffee subscription, I'm like, oh, sign me up. That's what I want. That is the type of experience I want. I want to be drinking these high-quality coffees, and I like that, there's a local guy, a local friend of mine who is doing it, and might as well put it out there because I've seen that you guys actually enjoy his coffee. It's going to be a small pilot program, and, he's pretty accessible, so you can get all the feedback in the world about your coffees. That's what we just wanted to chat about today is just coffee subscriptions, right? Like what's good about them, what's interesting, and might as well have Bill chat about it too. So, all right, that's all we have today. Thank you so much for spending the time to watch this video, and we'll see you later. Oh yeah, sure, sub to me, sub to him. All right, goodbye.